Hello, I'm Chris Callahan, also known as Mr. C, and today we're going to be talking about counting. Do you know how to count? Probably you do. Maybe not. I don't know. The real question is, do you know how to count on a chessboard? And I've prepared a very silly position to show you what I'm talking about. This sort of position is unlikely to appear in a real game, but that's fine. I don't need it to look like a real game. I just need it to make the point that I'm trying to make. So, in this position, we have a rook that is attacking the pawn. And the rook behind it is also, in a sense, attacking the pawn. I know rooks can't, jump over each other. But the point is, when this rook takes the pawn, if another rook takes back, then this rook could sort of back his brother rook up, if that makes sense. So if you accept that this rook is attacking the pawn, you accept that all the rooks are attacking the pawn. Okay? And in a similar sense, there are also lots of rooks defending the pawn, right? When I say defending, I mean that when my rook takes it, the black rook will take back. So there's tons of rooks attacking, tons of rooks defending. The question is, can you take it? Well, there are different ways to answer this question, and one way that you might use is called calculation. Calculation just means using your imagination and trying to imagine things happening. So for example, in this position, if you were to calculate, you would close your eyes, take a deep breath, and you would imagine this rook taking the pawn, and then you would imagine this rook taking back, and then you would imagine in your mind's eye this rook taking, and then this rook taking back, and then this rook taking, and then this rook taking back, and then this rook taking. Yeah, you can see that this doesn't work very well. Fortunately, there is a much easier solution, much simpler, that doesn't involve you trying to imagine things that are happening 7 or 8 or 9 moves in the future. And that solution, as you can probably guess, is counting, right? And the way we think about this position, if we are going to use counting, is we simply count the rooks. And when I count the rooks, I discover there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 white rooks attacking the pawn. And there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 black rooks defending the pawn. So we have more attackers than defenders, one more. And when you have more attackers than defenders, it is safe to take the piece. I guess you're not going to take my word for it, right? I need to prove it. So let's see what this looks like. Takes, 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 and you will see that I am the only one left with a rook at the end. Simple enough, right? Well, this is chess, so it's never simple. I'm going to do the typical chess coach thing here, where after I explain something that seems very useful and easy, I'm going to explain why sometimes it doesn't work. So in this position, we have, in the same sense as before, 3 pieces attacking the black pawn. Now, how many black pieces are defending the pawn? Well, there's only 1. So this sounds great. We've got 3 attackers, only 1 defender. This is easy. We're going to win a pawn, aren't we? Well, watch what happens. I take this pawn, the black pawn takes back, the rook takes back, and I don't like my position. Black has a queen, and I don't. It's 1 black queen and no white queen, and then there's 2 rooks on either side. I was attacking that pawn more. What happened? Why didn't that work? Well, I will set this back up again to show you what went wrong. And what went wrong is that the pieces that were attacking and were defending were not the same piece. And as a result, it didn't quite work out. The pieces I'm attacking with are queens and rooks, which are the 2 strongest pieces, and the pieces that are defending, the piece that's defending is a pawn, which is the weakest piece. So when I take, I'm going to win more pieces, right? I'm going to win 2 pawns for only 1 queen, but of course it's not worth it to win 2 pawns for only 1 queen. 1 queen is worth more than 2 pawns. It's worth more than 3 or 4 or 5 pawns. So there are some problems here. We can't just count everything. We do have to turn on our brains and think just a little bit. So does this work or not work? Can you get a straight answer? Well, here's the straight answer. It always works, but you have to consider what sort of piece is doing the taking. You can't just count them up and think that that will always work. So let's take a look at this position here. You will quickly notice that there are just a gazillion different pieces attacking d5. Okay, even this bishop over here. And there are also a gazillion pieces defending d5. And they're all different pieces. They're rooks, they're queens, pawns, knights, bishops, everything. So you may think counting doesn't work, but it does work as long as we are counting each kind of piece. So how many queens are attacking and how many queens are defending? Well, one of each. So that cancels out. We can forget about that. How many rooks are attacking and defending? One of each. We can forget about that. How many pawns? One attacking, one defending. Well, it's a wash. It's all the same. What about the minor pieces? Minor pieces are knights and bishops, right? I know that knights and bishops are different kinds of pieces, but they're worth about the same. So we call them minor pieces and we kind of consider them to be the same sort of thing. Well, I've got a knight and a bishop on one side, a knight and a bishop on one side, and then we get to the point of all of this, an extra knight on the other side that black can't match. So I believe that it's safe to take that pawn. Do you agree? Let's give it a try. Takes. We'll take with the bishop. Takes. And who does the last taking? Takes. It was indeed safe to take that pawn. Well, I think that's all I have to say about counting. I hope what you learned today was useful, and good luck counting your pieces in your chess games going forward. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.